Dave Duels.
What?
Remember where you at?
Right here.
Remember the letters that you and Thomas were working on? This is sent to all the people who are at the summit.
Yeah, we put something together. Yeah, well, we got this milk, but when we empty one of those boxes, we'll put that milk in the box.
How's it going?
Huh?
How's it going?
Oh, it just went. We'll let them warm up?
Huh?
No, because sometimes the batteries take a while to warm up.
Where's Boston at? Do you need a typewriter to do that, or is your handwriting good enough?
My handwriting's
Right.
legible.
Legible.
Mine is atrocious.
The first question I would ask is, what is the Union of the Homeless for those who...
You notice what's going to be happening, right?
The phone is going to be ringing. Ring, 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 ring. Very busy man.
KCMO, Union of the Homeless. Yeah, hey Thomas. All right, how you doing? Told him. I do too. I got a key to the art room. All right, you can hold on to that if you don't lose it. We got a truck. Home aboard a truck today. Did I say it in English? Yeah. It shocked the crap out of me, but we got us a truck today. Yeah. All right, that's what we need to do. Remember, we took concern. Now we got a truck. We don't have to depend on anybody else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it myself. I'll get us some baggies and get over there. Probably won't get done today, but yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I know. Well, if you can do that, then you'll be kicking the job. I don't know his number or anything. How do I get a hold of him? Yeah, too, so. What? Yep. All right. Well, you do what you have to do, brother. You know, I know you're going to do what you do. If nothing else, just make the garbage bags available. All right? Okay, buddy.
Well, the first question I'd ask is, what is the Union of the Homeless, and you know, basically, what are you all about?
All right. The Union of the Homeless started out in Philadelphia. That's where the national headquarters is. And it started out with two homeless people who lived in the streets. They were sleeping by a church or in the area of this church, and this reverend seen him, and I don't know how they did it, but they got him to give the church to the homeless, and they started a homeless shelter there. And then they started the Union of the Homeless. We pretty much are in the same philosophy of the National Union of the Homeless, but the only difference is that we don't accept money from the government or state or the mayor or anything like that. They have a more difficult problem to some extent than we do, because they have to do with the male or the family, you know, the women and children. So they have to accept some kind of monies from the government and so forth and so on. And we refuse to do this. Here, the Kansas City, Missouri Union of Homeless is an organization of homeless people coming out of the shelters, out from underneath the bridges and abandoned buildings, getting these houses that have been donated to us, renovating them as we live in them, go back to school, do our drug and alcohol counseling, do everything we can within our power to help each other get up and out of poverty and stay out of it.
And that's what you're doing here at the 27th and Olive Address right here is,
right here.
Renovating and painting. And
this is Empowerment House 1. We call all our houses Empowerment House. This is Empowerment House 1. This is 2644 Olive Empowerment House 1. 34, whoops, Garfield. What's the Garfield address?
119, 34.
No, not that one. No, it's 3410 Garfield. That's Empowerment House 2.
so how many houses do you have altogether?
119 East 34th Street is Empowerment House 3. Yeah. And now 2417 Chelsea is Apartment House 4. Empowerment House number 4. And the reason that we call them empowerment houses, because that's exactly what it's all about. We move them into the house, we move into them houses, and we empower ourselves to renovate them, but not only them, in a way renovate ourselves. Because, you know, we're, you know, a lot of us are ex-addicts and you know, alcoholics, and some of us are not. Some of us just have other different problems and whatnot. So what we have to do is not only work on the house, but work on ourselves as we're doing so. So it's kind of on a job training.
So homeless helping themselves out of being homeless and getting jobs and education.
Yeah. See, we believe, as much as a lot of other people we know, we believe that our government has never been for the people, regardless of what that paper says, of the people, for the people, and all that other stuff, which is a lot of crap. It wasn't meant for us. It was meant for the people who were in power at the time, and they're still in power now. It's just different generations. And it hasn't changed. All that stuff that they said was all meant for them. So we feel that we're tired of depending on the government to give us the monies that we give them. Because, you know, they're in salary because we put them there. And they're not using the money to help the people. You know, they're not helping to put the food on the table and clothing and housing and so forth and so on. So we say we don't want to live in no shelters either. Because the shelters, all it is a zombie effect graveyard. You understand what I'm saying? People go in there, they may not be dead, but they might as well be dead. They're just walking dead people.
So the shelters really don't help anybody out at all.
See, what you see on the TV about City Union Mission and Restart and whatnot, they show you the good version. They show you what they're doing with the single family, and they're doing a fairly good job. but ask them to show you what they do with the transient. What happened to movies or videos about the transient part of your organization? And they won't show you none of that because they're filthy. You understand? They're overcrowded. People can get TB, you know, from the overcrowdedness. There's not enough air for congestion and so forth and so on. And the staff treat the homeless like they're dirt, forgetting that they at one time were homeless.
Get robbed of the few possessions
Get
they
robbed,
have,
they get
and
beat up.
murdered and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and then they force religion on people. If you want to eat there, you gotta wait until after all the services are done before you're allowed to eat. You understand? You want to get this with they kick you out at 6 o'clock in the morning. If a guy has a job and it's after 5 or 6 o'clock, they can't get back into the house, back into the shelter if they're after 6 o'clock. So they lose their bed and their property and all that kind of stuff. So we tell them to keep their shelters.
Have you heard about this program that's come out with a kind of like a message machine for homeless? You can go up to a message machine and get all your messages from prospective job employers and stuff like that.
Well, I haven't heard about that. I don't know. See, that's I don't know. I haven't heard about it. I wouldn't use it myself. I like the personal end of things. Yeah. Like downtown, they got the Homeless Information Center, which is used for mailing address and the phone system down there. Here is another whole
you can
any house we open up.
You can list your addresses here, and the phone calls and messages will be taken.
Yeah, they'll be coming here. Yeah.
Well, that's great. What programs or events are you planning for the future to get more attention and?
Well, right now, a group of friends of ours, I think you already know them, the Sin City Disciples. Mm-hmm. They're getting ready to do another concert for us sometime about the end of April. Guerrilla Theater, they're supposed to be doing something. Our main event that we're doing, getting involved in the homeless themselves, is we're doing a art concert, arts and craft benefit, by June 11th. Now I'm trying to get the location down on 12th Street in Grand, but I don't know how if the city will allow us to do it, so we may end up doing it in our backyard, which is much better as far as I'm concerned, because we can display all our art in the back. You know, we can have Sin City Disciple playing some music, and we can have us a barbecue and make it into an event, with the objective of selling homeless people and friends art. And the objective there is threefold. One, to break the myths of homeless people being lazy and shiftless. Two, put money directly into the homeless person's hands. They get 85% of whatever they sell. If they sell a painting for $100, 85% they keep, 15 goes to the union. Same thing with the friends. We don't differentiate. Homeless and friends means exactly that. So they get 85% of what they sell. And it's, like I said, it's a way to generate interest, get our art out there. You know, the money definitely is going to help us because utility bills we're going to be having and so forth and so on. So that's pretty much it. One other thing, there's the mayor's convention is coming here next month on the 22nd, and we're thinking of doing some kind of demonstration because the mayor here definitely is not concerned with the people. The mayor here is concerned with the zoo and big business and stuff like that. Nothing to do with people.
Tell me about Takeover. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Takeover is a video put together with 6 or 7 different cities. And what it is the video shows people getting off the grounds, out of the shelter systems, out of the abandoned buildings, and supporters organizing to do a housing takeover all over the United States. As a result of Jack Kemp's live, who's the director of HUD, he gave us a letter of commitment, 10% of low-income housing to go to the homeless. CBGB funding we're supposed to be getting. We're supposed to be getting technical services and advice. He was supposed to be hiring the homeless to do the renovating and paying them instead of contract labor within the homeless and so forth and so on. But as it all turned out, it was all a lie. And I guess in a way I can't blame him because we had over 1,000 people getting ready to take over the HUD building in Washington. And I guess the best thing he could do was pacify us, which he did, and did a very good job because he gave us what we wanted to hear. But he didn't have to fulfill it, which is exactly what happened. That piece of paper is not worth anything. So anyway, as a result of that, we organized all over the United States to do a housing takeover, which meant we were taking HUD properties, all abandoned properties that belonged to HUD, which really belonged to the people. We took the locks off, the boards off, moving families, been going in and out of jail ever since, and some cities are still doing that. You know, so as a result of that. So this video shows shows this CD, civil disobedience, happening all over the United States, which is frightening to the government and the regular news media. They don't want other people to realize that we're tired of the games the government is playing with us, and we're tired of these so-called what they call advocates and supporters of the homeless, or workers for the homeless and all that kind. We're tired of these folks. We're tired of them saying they're doing things for us. It's time that we decide we don't want you to do it no more. We're going to do it ourselves, and that's what this video shows.
And it'll be airing when and where?
Yeah, we're hoping it's supposed to be aired August on PBS. I'm not sure of the date yet. I think it's the 8th or the 18th, something like that. It should be on Channel 19. I was talking with them last week about it, and it's on the agenda. So if they don't, how you say, if they don't cop out of it because it is a controversial tape, you know, you're showing people actually taking the initiative, and I don't believe the government wants people to know that they have that kind of power.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, the only thing I want to say is that I thank God that I came to Kansas City, Missouri. You understand? I lived in New York all my life, but there are so many grassroots organizations over there that they're all fighting with each other instead of fighting the issues. Here, this is the first organization of homeless people themselves, and we don't have no competition with any other grassroots organization because nobody else believes that it can be done. I believe it can be done. We believe it could be done, and we're doing it. And in spite of all the games this mayor here and this city is playing on us, we're still able to do it. In fact, that we just now acquired another building as of today, the one I'm telling you about on Chelsea, because people are donating these houses to us. The only way we want houses is that they become property of the Union of the Homeless. Right? And once the taxes are paid, we don't have to pay taxes no more. All we have to pay is utility bills. So all we ask people when they move in, if you don't have any money, you go to work. Right? We need $70 a month. You got to pay the utility bills. And then the only other thing is that you got to get your life together. We'll work on rebuilding your life. And it's happening. It's happening. It's slow, you know. But things like this video here, and getting out there in the streets, and our newspaper, and our T-shirts, and letting other homeless brothers and sisters realize that it can be done. You know, they're so frustrated. All their lives, they're against these brick walls that don't want to be cracked. They don't want to open it. They don't want to let homeless people in. And they don't believe that any organization can do that. They say, oh, you're just another organization. I said, no, you're wrong. This is your organization. You want to make the changes. You know what the changes are. Get in the organization and make the changes. So these kind of things that you're showing now show other people, other homeless people, that they have to get off their behinds and get out there and get involved in the struggle. Become part of the protesters. Become an activist. Become part of making the changes. That's the only way it's going to be done. Us joining with other organizations, all of us. See, one of the mistakes that's going on in this country, people think that all they need to do is fight for welfare rights, or all they need to fight is for housing, or all they need to do is fight for food. They don't realize we're fighting a poverty issue. Poverty encompasses all the issues: housing, homelessness, hunger, child neglect, abuse, all that stuff. All that stuff. The majority of all that stuff is happening to people in poverty. People living below the level of poverty. And people like us, we have to realize that instead of going our separate ways and fighting our own separate issues, that we need to throw all them issues into that one pot, stir it up, and work together. It's the only way it's going to get done. That and get involved in the politics. And that's the only other thing I have to comment on. We are getting into the politics. In Boston, there's a lady running for governor. She's a welfare mother, 4 kids. She's running for Congress. We got people in Philadelphia that are the city council. That's the objective. We have to get involved into the political arena. But we can't change our political beliefs once we become part of that arena. See, too many times in the past, people, they get into that position, but they forgot why they got there. You know, they forgot they're there because they need to fight housing, against bad housing. They need to fight against lack of food and clothing. They get there and they get this authority and they get this big money, and they forget, I was homeless, I was hungry, I'm here for that purpose. So our objective is to train our own homeless brothers and sisters, people of poverty, not to forget where they came from, and when they get into a position where their voice makes a difference, they need to use that voice for our favor. And right now I'm thinking about Jerry Brown. I haven't had a good opinion. I have good opinions about him so far, I need more information about Jerry Brown. Because I'm going to see if we can use his place to register homeless people to vote. we're looking for a good candidate.
Good one
That's
to
about it.
endorse.
All
right. Well, thanks a lot.
All right, my pleasure.